Well, good morning again. Different t-shirt with dolphins. I hope you can see that. It's really rather lovely. Anyway, so many of us spend far too much time worrying about what other people think about us. And if you stop and think about what that actually means, it means that we're basically giving all our power to other people. We are basically leaving our happiness in the hands of others, which just isn't a good idea at all, because quite simply it means you'll never be happy. What other people think about us is none of our business. And if you stop and think about it, what about what you think about other people? And hopefully we don't think about other people in a harsh way. Hopefully you think about people in a compassionate way. And that doesn't mean you have to let people walk all over you. I mean, if someone's a bitch, they're a bitch. You just keep away from them. But just don't hate them. And try not to actively dislike them either. It's okay not to like people. You don't have to like them. But just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that gives you carte blanche to treat them badly. It's really that simple. And however, if you spend much of your life, excuse me farting about with this, but I just don't seem to be able to get it right this morning. Right, I think that's it. Yes, and I remember that I do it without these. Anyway, by constantly worrying about what other people think about you, you can never truly be yourself, and you end up being different people to different people. And that, not only does that sort of eventually annoy other people, because other people can tell whether you're genuine or not, but it gets you into a right old twist too. And it really doesn't matter whose approval it is that you're seeking. Don't stop it. All very much easier said than done, particularly if you feel that being liked or disliked is a life-threatening situation, which is what I used to think. I mean, I'm being quite serious here. If I didn't please people, I was in danger of being killed, because that was what my experience was as a child. Obviously, I clearly never was killed, but came pretty close to it on more than one occasion. And so I spent most of my life pleasing people. And it is such a relief when I don't really give a toss anymore. I really don't. I mean, I like to please my friends. And of course I like to make people happy. I like to make people laugh. I like to make people feel good. But I'm not doing it at my expense. And those people that live like that, who want to cause ructions and discord between people, well, you can fuck off, because I don't want any of that, thank you very much. And like I've said, this is all an awful lot easier said than it is done. Much easier said than done. Because it requires a certain amount of self-worth for a start. And of course, if we're stuck in that situation of trying to please everybody, then quite clearly our self-worth isn't that good. And that's what we have to work on first. And it's really the base of everything. If you work on your self-worth, then everything else starts to fall in place. You can't start by getting rid of people out of your life, or start by sticking up for yourself, or start by, just behaving as if you have got good self-worth, because that doesn't work. What it will do is make you feel far more afraid. You have to work on your self-worth first. And we all dislike ourselves for all sorts of reasons, but mostly it's because, for whatever reason, when we were children we felt unloved, we felt that we were not good enough. And this happens even if you have what are generally termed as good parents, i.e. people who didn't hate you, who didn't molest you, who weren't overtly horrible. But you can still have parents where you end up feeling that no matter what you do, you're not going to please them. We all know of pushy parents, don't we, who you know, you must get an A, you must get an A. And of course, if you don't get an A, then you just don't feel worthy, do you? It's a very delicate line to tread. But I guess I find that sort of thing a bit difficult because mine was anything but overt abuse. It, was any bugger. The abuse I went through wasn't subtle, is basically what I'm trying to say. You know, and I know that people out there who listen to me and who read my stuff, I know that you've been through horrendous things and very similar to me, which is why, of course, you read or listen to me, and I feel very humbled by that fact. I really do. It's why I keep going. But if you've read or listened to me recently, you'll know that a friendship, in inverted commas, that I had for 30 years came to an end not that long ago. And you know, I am so relieved because I no longer have to worry in my head. I no longer have to doubt in my head, you know, oh dear, you know, this doesn't feel comfortable to me. I feel like they're abusing me. I feel like they're abusing my trust. I feel like they're taking advantage of me. And then I have this other voice saying, you wicked, horrible person, you. How can you possibly think that about these two people, particularly of her? I mean, look at all the times that she's listened to you on the phone when you've been off your head. And that, you know, and I had this constant going around and around and around. I must be a truly bad person to even contemplate this. But John, several years ago, said that this relationship is not healthy, Colin. They are taking the piss. They're taking advantage of you. They're using you. And I wouldn't have any of it. It just filled me with more fear. But he was right. And they showed their cards. I didn't have to do anything in the end. They showed their cards. They showed me what they were like. Give somebody enough rope and they hang themselves, so they say. And that's what happened. And far from being upset, I'm just relieved. Because now I have absolutely nobody in my life that I have to have any doubt about. You know, I'm not sitting here thinking, oh dear. Oh. Or afraid to say anything to them. I mean, I've got really good friends, and I say what I damn well please. You know, and if I've got the hump one day, well, I've got the hump one day. And if I swear a lot one day, well, I swear a lot one day. And, you know, my friends are the same. Particularly, I have this friend called Jude. She's very posh. Really posh. I mean, she's sort of aristocracy posh. Seriously. And she has very famous relatives. And she swears like a trooper. And it's really funny. It's like listening to the Queen swear. And if you phone her and you get her answer machine, you swear blind that's who it is on the answer phone, saying, you know, I'm sorry dears, but I'm not here. Or something to that effect. I can't do the voice. But, you know, sounds just like Queen Elizabeth. And the croaky voice and everything. Because my dear friend is not that young anymore. But she's lovely, and she's been my longest friend, actually, since 1979. I've known her. And she stuck by me through thick and thin too. But then that's because she has also had, you know, her problems in life, so she understands. But anyway, getting back to worrying about what other people think about you. You know, if you give other people that power over you, you truly will never be happy. You'll never be comfortable with yourself. You have to be who you are. And you know, the one thing I've really discovered is that I am liked and disliked by the same amount of people as I always was. Or actually, perhaps, maybe I'm liked more. Much to my surprise, I find I'm sort of, I don't know how to say this without sounding big-headed, but it seems that I've become quite popular. And I haven't done anything. I just sit there at dog shows and don't really do anything. I just show my dog. And I do this, which I thoroughly enjoy doing, I might add. I feel a bit nervous sometimes about what I said, you know, particularly my twat video yesterday, but I was in that sort of mood and I didn't, oh well, you know, I said what I had to say, and that's all there is to it. And my good friends, I noticed a couple of my American friends commented, and they knew I wasn't having a go at Americans in particular. You know, we all have, I could quite easily, I could say things about all sorts of nationalities with the travels I do and how difficult some places are. We would never visit another East European country, unfortunately, you know, because they're just not geared out for the disabled. It's as simple as that. France don't give a shit, one way or the other. And yes, see, I could get quite offensive about places, but I'd be telling the truth. Although I have rather come to the conclusion that the reason there's so much animosity between the French and the British is because they're very alike. In fact, I would say almost the same. They both think they're better than everybody else, for a start, and not very friendly. And, well, that should have put a few irons in the fire, as they say. No, that isn't what they say. I have no idea what that means. But anyway, do you know, I slept most of yesterday. It's just gone in a blur, and I thought I was going to swim today, but I didn't. Because when I woke up, I was just still tired. So I stayed asleep until I wasn't tired anymore. But yesterday was still a remarkably good day. I mean, bloody hell, I swam and I walked the dogs, and it was a day after a dog show. I mean, a day after a dog show, I'm usually completely stuffed. But I wasn't. I feel today more like the second day after a dog show, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'm normally sort of recovering by then, and that's sort of how I feel. I don't know what happened yesterday. Why did I feel so good? Anyway, that's enough, I guess. So, we'll see what happens next and what I have to say next. Bye.